Welcome back to my channel. I'm Chloe and I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. Today I'm coming to you from a completely different location. I'm in my kitchen because it is a glorious sunny day today, so I thought I would take advantage of this natural light. With that being said, it means that the dogs are going to be pottering around on the wooden floor, so if you hear them tapping away and echoing, I don't think you do, they look pretty settled, but if you do, that is what it is. So today's video is going to be my top Primark tips. How to shop in Primark, how to get the most out of your trip, how to have the best experience. So there's no order to this, I'm just going to fire off my top 10 tips on how to shop in Primark. So tip number 1 is to avoid weekends, especially Saturdays if you can. So I know this is easier said than done for a lot of people who work the Monday to Friday, the 9 till 5. The weekend is sometimes your only option, you know, but if you can avoid it at all costs, do so. Even if that means going on a Sunday rather than a Saturday. Saturdays just tend to be chaotic, and if you can go on a weekday, they are so much better. Whenever I film my videos, I always go midweek. I usually go on a Wednesday because there's more people at work, so there's less chance of it being completely rammed, which also means that it's a lot neater as well. Sometimes when you go on a weekend, things can tend to look a bit jumble sailing, especially if you go later on in the day because it's all completely picked through. And yeah, so if you go on a weekday, you will have a much nicer experience. Tip number 2 is to get there for opening time. So this goes a little bit hand in hand with what I was saying, that later on a Saturday it tends to look a little bit picked over, and this can tend to be the same no matter what day you go. So if you get there for the opening time, everything is fresh out, they're going to have all the sizes stocked up, everything's going to be neatly in its place, and that's for me is just a much more enjoyable experience than having to rifle through everything or having clothes just randomly thrown about. My third tip is to shop the seasons early. So I don't know about you, but I found personally in Primark that they tend to get their new spring or summer stocking right after Christmas, and vice versa with the autumn stuff. As soon as it hits like July and August, they've already got all of the autumn jumpers in and start showing the Christmas things, so they seem to stock a season early. So you're going to want to make sure that you take advantage of that and buy things when you see them. Now, going into the stores and thinking about bikinis, it's not on most people's minds, but if you wait until you need it in July, they're not going to be there. They're going to be sold out, they're going to be picked through, there's going to be random sizes left, and they're going to be starting to get the jumpers in. So make sure you stock up on your seasons as soon as they bring those clothes out and just store them. Tip number 4 is to make sure that you try on your clothes. In store, if possible, they always have loads of fitting rooms, so you never really have to queue up for them, or I've never experienced having to queue up for a changing room there because they just have rows and rows of them. And the sizes can be really inconsistent in Primark, I think. So you're really going to want to try on. You don't know if it's going to fit you, how you think it was. You might always not be your normal size. And this can change from item to item as well. You might try like a dress on and pick up another dress in what you think is the same style. So you think, oh, I'll just be like a size 8 in this. But I've done it recently where I've picked up some shorts to try on, and the same style of shorts I bought in previous years and a size 8 fits perfectly. Put a size 8 on now, not a chance. And I know that I personally am exactly the same size. So yeah, make sure you're trying your clothes on, ideally in store, then you don't have to go back and return them. Tip number 5 is to schedule some time out when you're actually going to go to Primark. So I know this might sound like a funny one, well, aren't you just going to go and you go shopping? Yes, you are, but make sure you've got a chunk of time scheduled out so you can have a proper good hunt. Look at everything in the shop, pick out those key stylish pieces, the exciting trendy items that are a bargain, and if you give yourself extra time, you're not going to feel stressed or rushed, you're just going to enjoy it a lot more as well. Tip number 6 is a little bit of a weird one, but for me it is avoid the sales at all costs. For me in Primark, the sales seems to be old stock that they've brought back in. Sometimes they do have last season stock out as well, but more often than not, they just seem to have a whole load. It's like a jumble sale basically. It's not a nice experience. Things are really cheap, but it's usually not the things you want to buy anyway. So I just avoid the sales. Primark is so affordable anyway. It's always good to get a bargain, but you're always getting a bargain in Primark anyway, so that's how I see it personally. Tip number 7 is to always pick up a basket on your way in. You might think that you don't need a basket. You would be wrong. You will always need a basket. You'll always find things that you want to pick up in there because you see it and you're like, £3? Yep, in the basket. £2, yeah, I'll take that. It does quickly rack up, but because things just look so inexpensive, you're gonna need a basket. If not, you're just gonna end up with like your arms full. And it's even better if your Primark has one of like the pulley longy ones, the ones that I go to always doing. They're a winner because you don't have to like lug it about in your arms, so yeah. Always pick up a basket on your way in. Tip number 8 is to have some sort of structure to how you're going to look around the shop. So for me, I think that is start at the sides, work your way around and then into the middle. So because Primark is just so vast and they seem to have so many different things in, you're really going to want to concentrate on looking at one area at a time. Don't be pulled away by something you've seen in the distance and run over to it, because then you'll have forgotten where you were, you'll have lost what you were looking at, and you might miss out on some really good gems. So pick one side, work your way all around to the side and then go into the middle. Tip number 9 is to look in the men's section. So here you'll find loads of great hoodies and graphic t-shirts, and I personally think some of the female ones can tend to be a little bit twee and not what I'd like to go for at all, whereas in the men's section the hoodies have like that more oversized fit, the graphic tees are a bit more like trendy and rugged, which I think if you're going to wear a graphic tee, that's what you want to go for. Like I've got a NASA one and also a Jurassic Park one, and you'd never find that in the female section, but you'd always find it in the men's. So make sure you're checking the men's section out if those are some things that you're looking for. And then my last tip, tip number 10, is to always check the size of the thing you are purchasing on the label on the item of clothing. If you just go by the hanger size, you will pick up something wrong. In and amongst, like over the next few months, if you just go off the hanger sizing, you will get it wrong. For whatever reason, they are often hung on the wrong hangers, and that can be really frustrating. So when you're just rifling through trying to find your size, make sure you always look on the tag, because yeah, you just never know when you're like, oh no, that's not my size. You never know. You never know. Yeah. Basically, it's happened to me so many times where you've got home, you're like, this is the size that I wanted, or why would I have picked up that size? Or when you're trying to find something and you can't find it in your size, it's like, right, let's look at all these tags, let's make sure they definitely don't have it in my size. And that's often when I've found it as well. So yeah, that is my last and final tip. That wraps up my top 10 tips to shop in Primark. I hope you have enjoyed watching. I do monthly Primark videos. If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe so that you can see them every single month. I always film come shop with me's and hauls if I've bought anything as well. Give the video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!